Hello everyone, I'm Farmer Sim and welcome to my new survival challenge here in the Scandinavian forests of Holmakra. Now, to address the very obvious elephant in the room regarding why we are here and not on the map that shall not be named, there's a quick post in my community section on my YouTube channel here, so if you want to have a quick understanding as to why this has happened, then please head over there and have a quick read and you'll hopefully understand why all this has happened. So, anyway, moving on. We are here in the beautiful forests of Scandinavia in Holmakra. The premise is pretty much the same as the previous attempt that I made. I have this truck, I have this trailer behind me, and I have my chainsaw. We have absolutely zero money. There, as you can see, nothing. And we're going to forge a path through these beautiful forests and hopefully in the near future-ish, create a farm. And we're going to need to start doing a bit of logging, a bit of tree surgery, chopping a few down and selling them. And again, as I say, the premise is almost identical to what we had before. There'll be no super strength, so if I can't pick up the initial... Goodness me, this is a bumpy bit of road, isn't it? But yeah, I have a plot of land. The land we are now currently driving through belongs to me. Everything you see tree-wise on the right and the left belongs to me. And I'm going to try and do something with this land. Goodness me. Good job this truck is what it is, isn't it? I'll jump out in a second and show you this wonderful old Ford. We come to a stop about now-ish, I think. But yeah, what a beautiful surrounding, eh? Let's jump out. There we are, my weathered, battered old Ford F250. Good job it's got the suspension that it's got, though, eh? My gooseneck trailer and my chainsaw. And we're going to make a bit of a dent in this area here. Hello, dear. Yeah. So, as I say, I'm going to start chopping trees down and selling them at the wood selling point for now. Try and get a few euros under our belt so that I can figure out where to go next. So, no time like the present, let's get started. I think we'll start with this one here. So as I started to explain before I was rudely interrupted by a bumpy road, there will be no... I'm not going to be using any super strength to lift any logs that I wouldn't be able to manage. So the idea is that I'll be anything that I can pick up, I'll be loading onto the back of my trailer there, and we'll be trucking it off to the wood sell point to see what they'll give us for it. And eventually, I'm hoping that we'll gather enough money together to be able to lease out something a bit more proper, I guess, a bigger bit of machinery, maybe a lorry and a dedicated timber trailer, so I can start doing a bit of proper logging and cutting the trees down and trimming them down and cutting them to length and picking them up with the timber trailer. Now, as I might have said in the last attempted video that I made, I will be using universal auto load. I don't have a problem in using that. As you can see, the project that I've got ahead of me regarding clearing a huge amount of massive trees is a real task. It really is. And if I was to do it entirely with this trailer and this chainsaw, you guys would be bored very quickly. It would take me an enormously long time. And I'm just going to use, some of the mechanics that the game has been given, i.e. universal auto load. So it's still going to be a big job, don't get me wrong. And as we have absolutely nothing apart from truck, trailer and chainsaw, I'm hoping to be able to make a decent amount of money from whichever trees we clear, and then slowly but surely start building the farm up. You know, maybe treat myself to a little shed or an outhouse somewhere that I can keep the truck and the trailer overnight. I don't actually have anywhere to sleep. I might actually end up sleeping in the truck, to be honest. But yeah, and then slowly start building the farm up, get myself a decent tractor. This is, to the keen-eyed viewers of you, this is actually the same plot of land that I had got hold of in my first attempt. Albeit it looks different because it is Holmakra is the base map of what the map that shall not be named was. So the farmland that I own is all of this relatively level area here with all the trees, and also this whopping hill that is a bit clearer. There are still trees on it, but admittedly a whole lot less. It's a lot less cramped. But I do have in my mind that this area here is going to be fields, and as they are on such a steep hill, I'm going to need quite a considerable tractor in order to be able to pull stuff up and down, left and right on this land. So maybe a little bit different to other survival series that we've all been used to, where, you know, someone might start with a relatively cheap basic tractor. That approach, in my mind, isn't going to work here, because if I got myself a relatively small, not very powerful asthmatic tractor, for example, it just wouldn't budge up this hill. It needs something with a heck of a lot of grunt. So the first tractor that I buy is going to be, I think, quite an expensive one. And because we're here in Scandinavia, I think a big Fendt will be in order. And without looking at the prices, I think they're, give or take a bit, they're over 300,000 euros for a decent one, for a 1050. So yeah, that's where I'm aiming for at the minute, to get myself started with a tractor and a big plough. I haven't factored in the cost of the plough, so, you know, even if I factor in 50, 70, 80, 100,000 euros for a half-decent plough, that's 400,000 euros I've got to save up before I can even start making a scratch in the land and creating a field. So yeah, that's where my mind is with this. I am very excited for this survival series. I was very excited about the previous one, but hey, it is what it is. So start making a dent in these trees, getting them loaded up onto the trailer, and see if we can make a few euros. So I'll be back shortly. Well, that's one tree down. As you can see, I'm pretty much limited to cutting them to lengths of around about 1.5 meters, maybe 1.6 if the trunk's not too thick. So I reckon I can get one more on there before it becomes a little bit dodgy and get loaded up. So we'll cut another one down and we'll get it sent over to the wood sell point. There we go. Give this one a trimming. Nice. Job's a good one. Right, let's get this loaded up. There we go. My first load of logs. That's 2 trees. I think that's pretty much all I can get on there, to be honest. I'm surprised they're staying on there. Let's get them strapped on. Last thing I want is all this to come tumbling off, eh? There we go. Lovely stuff. Another one there. Job's a good one. Right. Let's make our way to the wood selling point. Need to get myself out of these woods, don't I? There we go. Right. Let's get on the way. Whoa. So, if any of you are interested in giving this beautiful map a go, it is on the Mod Hub. It's been on the Mod Hub since July 2022, and I feel a little bit embarrassed to say that up until 72 hours ago, I'd never even heard of it. And it really is a beautiful map. It does start out as a forestry-only map, but as I'm going to try and do with this series, it doesn't always have to be what it was intended to be. We can carve ourselves a farm into the land. The map is made by modders PixelFarm and Oscar8599. Yeah, and it's a cracking thing, it really is. Anyway, onwards to the wood sell point. I have also created myself an auto drive course. I've always loved using auto drive. It's a cracking mod. I've used it on just about every game that I've played on since I discovered this game back in FS19. So yeah, I've just spent the last day sorting out an auto drive course for this place. So I do use that a lot, just so I can drive and talk at the same time. It certainly helps that anyway. And I've got the vehicle limited to 45 miles an hour on auto drive, just because some of the lanes are quite bumpy. The last thing I want is for the thing to be bouncing up and down and flying all over the place. So just to keep things tidy. So let's. I think that the trigger is actually over here, around this thing here. So let's. No. Well, it was. Okay. Give me a second. Right, apologies for that. I'd got the points mixed up. 5,597 euros we've just made from that load, which is quite frankly incredible. I don't know if you noticed. Well, I don't think I had the HUD up actually, but I was actually in minus figures because of the running of the chainsaw. It does cost you. But that's not bad for the first load, eh? So I reckon a couple more of these, maybe 2 or 3 more loads, and we should have enough spare money. Oh, that's a phrase, isn't it? Sorry, there's no such thing as spare money, is there? But I should have enough money to be able to lease out a truck and trailer, which really will put my auto drive course to the test, especially through those narrow, muddy lanes that lead up to the land. But yeah, so let's. I need to turn around here and get back to the land. Here we are. Back at the plot, I think I can call it. Right. I think the task of today is just to create a bit of a clearing, start making a bit of progress with the trees, getting rid of a few of them. But yeah, 5,000, what did we get? Hang on. Well, I think I was about minus 15, wasn't I? So 5,500 and something. Yeah, that's a pretty decent number. So let's crack on, get the next one down. There we go. It turns out I'd got my measurements a bit wrong. I can actually chop up to about 2.5 meters on these particular trees, which is a bit handy. It saves me a little bit of time, because the first load I did, they were all 1.5 meter lengths of trees, so it took me quite a while to get that one tree sorted on here. So what's that one? 2.4, yeah. But yeah, I'll finish getting this one loaded up. Right. That was a properly sketchy load, that. They kept on dropping off all over the place. I mean, look at the state of that thing hanging off the back. But they're on. They're not going anywhere now, so let's go and drop off our second load. I reckon it might be about the same, you know. Give or take a bit. Let's get ourselves there. I tell you what though, I do really like the ambience that this map gives off. It's it really does feel like you are in the forests of Scandinavia. I mean, obviously the ridiculously tall pine trees, and it's just a really nice place to be, quite frankly. And I know this is Farming Simulator and it's all about farming, but I know that there isn't a single blade of wheat, oat, barley, any cereal crops whatsoever on this map. Yet, anyway, in my case. But, yeah, it's just a really nice map, so if anyone does fancy a start from scratch with nothing and work your way up, this is a really good map to have a go at. And also, obviously, it's perfect for forestry, if that's what floats your boat as well, so get the old big forestry machines on board, all the diggers and the grapplers and whatnot. You could have some right fun on this map. And as I say, I'm just a bit surprised that I'd never heard of it before, up until, a day or so ago. When I searched for it on the Mod Hub, it was almost on the last page, and I thought, goodness me, it's been out for so long. I think it was released on the 22nd of July, 22. I'd never even heard of the name. So it's a hidden gem. And also to all you wonderful people and those of you who did watch my first episode on the map that shall not be named, I do apologise that this is something of a mirror image of that first episode. I really was excited to get into that. I was really enjoying it. I know this is my second series, I suppose you could call it that I've started. I've got my Edgewater one, obviously, that's on the go. But I was really keen to get into a survival map, and I really wanted to start it on a map like this. So yeah, apologies that it is something of a mirror image. I know I'd only released one episode, and this is essentially a repeat of that episode, albeit in very slightly different surroundings. But the premise does still remain the same, in that start from nothing, truck, trailer, chainsaw, get rid of a load of trees, make a bit of money, rent some equipment, and go from there. So, and hopefully when we pull up here at the correct point this time, I have altered my auto drive course. I did put this point in. There wasn't a marker on the floor, even with the what do you call it, the labels turned on, or whatever you want to call it. But now if I jump out here, pop over to here, there we go. Oh, hold on. 6,000! Oh, that'll do. Awesome. So what's that, 11? Okay, so hang on, let me just turn this noisy thing off a minute. Right. I don't know why it does that as well. Can you hear the straps just strapping themselves down for no reason at all? Shush. Thank you. Right. So let's have a look in the vehicle menu. I want a truck, and because we are in Scandinavia, and because I used to work for Volvo Trucks, we're having this beauty. We don't need a bigger engine, that'll be fine. Wheels are fine, although no, we'll have it with the wide tyres just because. And I think pretty much everything else can stay the same. Change the chassis colour to something a bit darker, that's about right. Nope. I do like a custom plate. Although F16, yeah, thank you. And to lease that is 5,543. Okay. And we then need a timber trailer. So forestry equipment, we'll just go for that one because that has the universal auto load. That can stay the same and lease that. So $1,989. So 5, 6. Okay, so we could actually jump right in and get the ball rolling quite fast now and get these machines leased, which I think would be a good idea, don't you? So yes, I know I'm now what, however long into my first episode on the survival series, and I'm currently considering renting a Volvo truck and a timber trailer. So it is a survival series, I do promise. We've started with nothing, but there is good money in logging, and even though I'm going to be making good money from each load, I'm also going to be spending a lot of money because of the, I'm building hopefully a reasonably big sized farm from nothing, so everything's going to cost. And as I say, the tractor I want to get hold of, in fact, thinking about the tractor onwards from what I mentioned earlier, is that I might even go for a Fendt tracked tractor, the 1167 MT, something like that. So that's even more expensive. That's 400 and something euros. I still haven't quite decided on what plough I'm going to consider, but for a first tractor on a survival map, on a survival challenge, I mean, I don't think I've seen that done before. Now, whether a lot of you will agree with that or not, or whether you'd call it a genuine survival or not, I don't know. I'd like to think you would, but the reason why I feel it necessary to go for such a big tractor is, as I said, because of the landscape of my field, in the fact that it's almost 45 degrees on an angle, so I need something that's got a heck of a lot of power in order to be able to even plough the field, let alone do any more field work. So anyway, I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to take us over to the vehicle delivery dealership point, and we shall lease ourselves a truck. So, see you shortly. Come on, up you get. You see, there's a view of our field from the bottom. Look how steep that is. Got to plough that at some point. Hence why I need such a ridiculously powerful tractor to cope with it. But that's a long way off yet. As I say, that's what, 440,000 euros for that tractor. We're a long way from being able to afford that, so I may even be forced into having to get something a little less powerful and maybe have to operate across the field as opposed to up and down, but we shall see. Let's see how this takes us. I've not really got much of a plan apart from what's immediately in front of me, i.e. get a truck, get a trailer, chop some wood, sell it, go from there. So, I'll see you over at the dealership. Right, here we are. This is the vehicle delivery spawn point thing, and we actually own all this. Not the land, but the actual the buildings themselves. There's a couple of productions here, which I shall show you in a second. So, hang on, let me just... It's a noisy thing, this. Let's turn it off. Save fuel and all that. So, we've got a bit of a weighbridge here, which displays the weighty vehicle on there, as we're all no doubt used to. We have a big, quite fancy shed over here. Now, I'm not really going to take advantage of these things during the survival aspect of this save. I mean, this is a vehicle workshop. Obviously, you've got the trigger over there by the workbenches. We have a fuel tank here, which it's not one of the ones that you can fill yourself. It's just a fuel tank. You pull up to it and you get charged for the fuel. Bear with me if I just turn on the labels again. There we go. So over here you have, this is called the sawmill. Yeah, so you feed it wood and it gives you planks, wood chips, boards, and boards 3. I'm not actually sure what the boards are used for. I don't think they're used for anything in particular. I think they're just for selling. But with this sawmill, obviously you feed it wood, you get all those outputs, and as you can see at the top there, the drying station, which is around here. This building here. You feed it the products that you get from this sawmill, and you feed the boards into this end around here, and that will give you, what does it call it? Dry boards. Dry boards 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, how does that work then? So you feed this one planks. Oh, that's it, right, boards 1. So you feed trees into the sawmill that we were over at first, and this map terms planks as boards 1, I think. So you feed it 3 trees, and you get 3.5 planks and some wood chips. Why they're called boards 1, I don't know, but either way, we may well at some point in the future take advantage of that and create ourselves another income stream for the well, I can't really call it a farm yet. We haven't got a farm. I'm presuming that's where we get wood chips out of when we feed this this sawmill wood. Right. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought I'd show you that, and that's another big shed that's we have access to. I'm saying it's ours. I'm assuming it's ours because we can open the door. I've always been used to. Oh, hang on, that's a bunker. I think. Is it a bunker? Well, it doesn't bring up any. Doesn't bring up anything in the top left menu there, does it? So. Oh. Turn on shed lights. Yeah. Well, as I say, we're not going to use that for anything at the minute anyway. I can't think of anything we'd want it for because where I want everything to be is all the way over there up in Thills. So, what am I here for? Truck, trailer. Right, let's get these leased. There we are. It's a thing of beauty, this, it really is. Bit of an old Volvo, F16 Globy. Love it. It's perfectly suited to this area of the world. So let's get this thing hooked up to here. I think I've still got manual attach activated on this. Yes, I have. So let's. There we go. Right. Oh, hang on. I suppose I need to. What am I doing with this pickup truck for now? I think we'll just park this up somewhere over here for now. In fact, I'm going to go and leave it on the weighbridge. See how much it weighs out of pure interest. Right, there we go. 10,778.9 somethings. Yeah. Do love that thing though, it's great. Diesel Division Customs and the Expendables, I think. I should know this. Apologies. Yeah, great truck. Right, anyway. I think now that we've got hold of this truck, I'm going to call it a day for this episode. I'm going to get cracking, get this thing up to the plot, the land, I think I can call it. And this will put the auto drive course to test. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really hope you have enjoyed this episode. As I did try to explain at the very beginning of the episode, I am extremely sorry that the first episode kind of went down the pan, or after the first episode it all went down the pan. I'm very grateful to you all for sticking with me. To those of you who recently subscribed to me as a result of watching my first survival episode, I am deeply sorry that it ended so quickly, but I'm hoping to be back on track almost, and on to episode 2 as soon as physically possible. So I'm very grateful for your patience. This kind of thing doesn't usually happen. It certainly won't now anyway. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for your time. I'd love to hear any comments or suggestions or anything you've got to say to me in the comments. Please let me know. I love reading all of them. It's just a wonderful thing. So yeah, thanks again, and I shall see you in episode 2.